Have you ever introduced your dog to someone new and watched them immediately back away, tuck their tail and refuse to go near that person, even though that person has done absolutely nothing wrong in front of them? Or watched your dog walk straight up to a complete stranger and press against their legs like they've known them for years? Most owners assume this is just their dog being randomly shy or randomly friendly. But what's actually happening in those moments is far more precise and far more rooted in memory than most people ever stop to consider. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your dog remembers people, what they store about every single human they've ever met, and why some of those memories may never fully fade. Let's start by clearing up a common misconception. Most people assume that because dogs don't have language, because they can't tell you about their past or narrate their experiences, their memories must be simpler and shallower than ours. But research into canine memory has been quietly building a very different picture over the past 2 decades. Dogs don't remember the way humans do, that's true. But in some ways, what they remember and how deeply they store it is arguably more powerful. Because while humans often remember events in the form of a narrative, a story we can replay and reinterpret over time, dogs appear to store memories as something closer to felt experience, emotional and sensory imprints that stay attached to specific people, places, and situations long after the original moment has passed. The key to understanding this lies in something called episodic-like memory, and dogs appear to have a version of it. A landmark study led by researcher Claudia Fugaza at the MTA-ELTE Comparative Ethology Research Group found that dogs could recall and reproduce actions performed by their owners after a significant delay, even when they had no reason to believe they would be asked to remember. This suggested that dogs aren't just storing simple cause and effect associations, the way older models of animal cognition assumed. They are retaining something closer to genuine experiential memory, a record of what actually happened, tied to context, emotion, and the specific individuals involved. Now, here is where this connects directly to the people in your dog's life. Research on canine scent memory has shown that dogs can recognize and distinguish individual human scents with extraordinary reliability, even after long periods of separation. A study examining dogs reunited with family members after months or years apart found clear recognition responses, behavioral changes consistent with emotional recall, not simply a reaction to a familiar smell, but something closer to the feeling that comes with remembering. Your dog does not just store a vague impression of the people they meet. They store something specific, layered, and tied directly to how that person made them feel. And that's the part that matters most, because what your dog primarily encodes about a person isn't what they looked like or what they were wearing or what their name was. What your dog stores most deeply and most durably is how that person made them feel in the body, safe or unsafe, calm or tense, trusted or unpredictable. A person who moved slowly, spoke gently, and gave your dog space the first time they met may be greeted like an old friend the second time, even months later. A person who loomed too quickly, grabbed without warning, or caused a moment of fear may be met with immediate wariness at the next encounter, regardless of how warmly they approach. If this is changing the way you see your dog's reactions to the people around them, go ahead and hit subscribe, because every video on this channel breaks down what the actual science says about your pet's behavior, not what we assume it means. Here's something most owners find genuinely difficult to sit with once they understand it. Negative emotional memories in dogs, particularly those tied to fear or stress, appear to be stored more durably and accessed more quickly than positive ones. This is not unique to dogs. Across many species, including humans, the brain prioritizes the encoding of threatening or distressing experiences as a survival mechanism, because forgetting danger is far more costly than forgetting something pleasant. For your dog, this means that a single frightening or painful interaction with a person can leave a lasting imprint that shapes how they respond to similar people for a very long time, sometimes years, even if every subsequent interaction has been perfectly calm. But here's the other side of that, the one that's far more hopeful. Positive emotional memories are stored too, and they accumulate. Every gentle interaction, every moment of patience, every time someone moved calmly and let your dog set the pace of an interaction, these experiences build up over time into something your dog carries with them about that person. Dogs who have consistently positive histories with a particular human don't just tolerate that person, they seek them out, they relax more quickly around them. They show the specific behavioral markers of trust, loose body language, soft eye contact, proximity seeking, that only appear around people their nervous system has decided are safe. And then there is the long-term question, the one that quietly sits behind everything else in this video. How long does your dog actually remember someone they love? While definitive long-term studies are limited by the obvious practical challenges of separating dogs from their owners for research purposes, the existing evidence consistently points towards something remarkable. Dogs reunited with owners after separations of a year or more show clear, distinct recognition responses, behavioral patterns that go beyond simply reacting to a familiar smell, and appear to reflect something closer to genuine emotional recall. The people your dog loves most, the people who have been the steadiest and safest presence in their world, may leave a mark that lasts far longer than we once assumed. So the next time your dog reacts to a stranger in a way you don't immediately understand, stepping back from someone who seems perfectly friendly, or leaning immediately into someone they've just met, remember what's likely happening underneath that reaction. They are not being random. They are not being difficult. They're responding to a system of emotional and sensory memory that has been quietly recording every meaningful human interaction they've ever had, filing each one under felt experience rather than conscious thought. And somewhere in that filing system is a record of you, built from every calm moment, every gentle word, every time you showed up the same way twice. That record doesn't disappear. It simply becomes the foundation of everything they feel when they look at you. If this video helped you understand your dog a little more deeply today, do one simple thing before you go. Hit like, leave a comment telling us about a moment when you noticed your dog remembering something or someone, and subscribe so you never miss what we uncover next. Because the more we understand the animals who remember us so deeply, the more we owe it to them to be worth remembering.